But Cole, what we have to do today is look through the greatest hits, the catalog. This is Colin Cowherd. You know what I mean? Like, are you ready to hear Colin Cowherd being hilariously wrong for about 15 minutes?
They got 15 minutes worth of him just being wrong.
I'm shocked it's only 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, that's because we cut all the basketball stuff out, that we only got the football wrong stuff. And keep in mind, this video was uploaded a year ago. There's a whole year's worth of new stuff. You know, he dropped some new bangers over the last year or so. So
hey, we was just talking about the Russell Wilson being elite. Remember that?
Oh,
we just talked about that.
Like, he doubled down. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm Cleveland. To me, this is the easiest decision since Andrew Luck. Sam Darnold, blue-collar work ethic, big, trunky, arm, feet.
Stop it. Just stop it.
I love how his justification for that kid going number one was everything but football.
Listen, whenever you start talking about intangibles before what they actually doing on the football field,
to make a mistake.
Making a mistake. You are already making a terrible mistake.
You are justifying making a decision that you know is wrong. Like, that is the equivalent to the what about in football, where you like, oh yeah, well, you know, he's just a winner. He's got heart. That means I cannot justify this rationally with my brain on why I think this dude's gonna be good. But I just want it to happen. Will we be doing this with now Stetson Bennett? You know what I mean? Just a winner. Like, he didn't play at Georgia, you know. But the crazy part with Sam Darnold, he wasn't even an intangible guy in college. USC didn't do much when he was there. Like,
you know who was an intangible guy in college?
That's crazy. Baker Mayfield was an intangible guy in college.
Baker Mayfield.
But he hated Baker Mayfield. I'm like, you gonna go all intangibles. Baker Mayfield was Mr. Intangible in college. And we forget Sam Darnold was tools dude coming out of USC.
He was tools dude in a draft that had Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. He was tools dude.
Now, look, retrospectively, we cannot justify how tools did not apply to Lamar Jackson, because we were having a whole different world of a conversation with him for whatever reason. But when it came to Josh Allen, the reason I think Sam Darnold got the tools designation was at least Sam Darnold was good at football in college. Like, Josh Allen wasn't. Josh Allen was horrible at football at Wyoming, dog. Like, the only thing that got Josh Allen in the first round was the fact that he was built like Josh Allen. That was the only reason. Like, if he were 6 foot playing like that, he'd be in the Arena League right now. Like, the only reason he got these chances because he was 6'6", ran like a deer, and threw the football a mile. But at Wyoming, he didn't look good at all.
Everybody was like, dog, this is going to be a terrible pick, because if this man can't complete passes at Wyoming, what is he going to do to NFL team?
That's what everybody was thinking. That's what everybody was thinking. And then Pat Mahomes went the year before, and this was before we knew Pat was going to be Pat. We didn't know anything about Pat Mahomes. So, like, we just sitting there just unaware of how wrong these next two draft classes were going to be at the top. We were so unaware of what was about to go down because Pat hadn't evolved yet. And see, I can understand the hesitancy on Josh Allen. I can't retrospectively explain to you why we did to Lamar Jackson what we did. That was foul. That was absolutely foul, dog. What we did to Lamar Jackson in this draft. Like, he went 32nd.
You believe that? Like,
That's
you
crazy.
Believe that, dog?
That's crazy. And there was no reason for him to go 32nd. Like, again, we got so caught up in the conversation of can he throw the football? We didn't watch tape. Like, it was so obvious that that was going to be a bad take because not only could he run, he played in a pro-style system, and he was literally like, remember that game versus Clemson where he basically carried Louisville to compete with Clemson at the peak of its powers? With Deshaun Watson?
Yes.
I watched those highlights. No, my bad. As a sophomore?
I watched those highlights. Every time I come on my timeline, I rewatch those highlights. He was cooking.
It's crazy. Like the retrospectively, even if you go back and look at college football, you can understand why Josh Allen didn't get that much hype coming out the draft, or at least the hype was like had a fair amount of pushback on it. The Lamar Jackson stuff, dog, there wasn't even hype about Lamar Jackson. That's the crazy thing. Nobody was hyping this up. All you heard was like Bill Polian talking about he should switch positions at wide receiver. And then this was how they brought up Lamar Jackson. We talk about Baker Mayfield playing quarterback, Sam Darnold playing quarterback, Josh Allen playing quarterback, and the Lamar Jackson experiment. Remember that? That's how we used to bring it up. We did him so dirty.
We called it an experiment, dog.
The experiment.
An experiment.
And Josh Allen was out here throwing 50% at Wyoming. And we're asking Lamar Jackson if he could throw. He threw like 63% in the ACC. Like, in a low completion percentage offense because of the pro style Bobby Petrino offense. Retrospectively, that conversation about Lamar Jackson has no reason to have existed in the way that it did in 2018. We really should have saw that Lamar Jackson thing coming. That changed how we view this. You know,
I was about to say one day we're gonna talk about how that Lamar Jackson conversation and like what he did following that conversation in the NFL changed. I feel like that shifted how people perceive black quarterbacks in college in general.
Just look, if you want to know the difference, look at the conversation around Anthony Richardson. Like that before Lamar Jackson, Anthony Richardson was going in the second round. Right?
Absolutely.
Like all the tools of the world, no production. But post Lamar Jackson, oh yeah, that dude doing seventh because we don't want to ever make that mistake again. That was so avoidable. Like you can say what you want about missing on Josh Allen. That was something to where like who knew that was gonna pan out like that?
Bro.
But like
think about all
Lamar
the
Jackson he won the Heisman, Cole. Like
youngest MVP in NFL history. And think of all these teams that need quarterbacks right now and passed on him.
think about it too. He won the Heisman. He wasn't an obscure prospect. He was a Heisman Trophy winner. Like in a Power 5 conference. And we still was like, nah, it's the Lamar Jackson experiment. You know, how many positions can he play? All kind of messed up conversations that we still continue to have about Lamar Jackson. And only Lamar Jackson. Nobody calls Justin Field a running back. He's the only one. Like, he got grandfathered in. That's the thing that Lamar Jackson's career, like, he will never be able to understand. He still gets judged as if his career exists in 2016. Like, it don't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense, man. It doesn't make any sense.
He's the only one. Nobody doesn't bring up rushing yards for quarterbacks when they bring up their stats anymore. That's a universal thing. But when Lamar Jackson numbers come up, you can guarantee they're going to deduct the rushing yards for whatever reason.
Hey, shout out Ozzie Newsome, man. He saw the vision.
Ozzie didn't see the vision, dog. He took Hayden Hurst before he took Lamar Jackson.
Listen, he saw the vision.
He was like, damn, I guess. Like
he's like, dang, nobody want him? You know what? I'm going to take him. We're gonna see what's gonna happen.
I'll take a flyer on the kid. That's what they did. That's what they did. They took a flyer on Lamar Jackson. It's so insane to think about. It's so insane. It's so insane to think about.
Took a flyer on the youngest MVP in NFL history.
A Heisman Trophy winning quarterback.
Flyer on.
That put Louisville on the map. Okay.
Hey, we ain't heard about Louisville football since.
You know what I mean? Hey, but you look at their quarterback, they try to recreate that magic every year, dog. Every year. Malik
never happened. Never happened again.
It changed the face of their recruiting. It's like what Braxton Miller did to Ohio State quarterbacks. They looked a certain way. Then Braxton showed up and they never went back. Like, even told Joe Burrow to go. Like, you remind us too much of Todd Beckman. Get out of here, Joe. Like,
hey, are you giving the credit? Are you giving the credit to Braxton when it should go to TP?
Was there, you know, a prototypical pro style quarterback there in between? Braxton, there was. like Sockenberger or something like that, or it was like a 5th-year senior, and then like Luke Fickell had to get pulled. Luke Fickell had to be begged to start Braxton Miller in like his freshman year, but he only played like 4 or 5 games. But there was there was the backup quarterback out there. Like TP's backup got playing time during that era. So I'm just saying the chain ain't broke since Braxton Miller been out there. Like we could go quarterback to quarter. We went to our 3rd string quarterback in 2014, Cardale Jones. It didn't change a thing, dog.
Hey, Glenville legend, Cleveland legend, Cardale Jones.
I mean? But look, you literally went from Braxton Miller, JT Barrett, Cardale Jones, back to JT Barrett, Dwayne Haskins over Joe Burrow. Right. We brought in the one dude. What was the dude from Las Vegas? Tate Martell. He was supposed to get the job. Nah, nope. Dog. We bringing in Justin Fields. Like, and then we go from Justin Fields to CJ Stroud. And I don't know who the next dude gonna be, but I have a good guess. Feel bad for Joe Burrow. He probably should have started over Dwayne Haskins, but you know what?
Listen,
Urban Meyer was like, nah, dog. I passed on Cam. I ain't letting that happen again. Like,
I made this mistake before.
Never again. Never again.
Ended up making another mistake.
And when you think about how crazy Cam was in college, I know we have strayed far from the original point. But if you think about Cam Newton in college, man, somebody pulled up a stat that nobody on that team played more than 2 years as a professional. And Cam went undefeated with that squad. Yes. I think maybe there was a D tackle that might have had a long
Nick Fairley.
Nick Fairley, but like he didn't have a long career. He had a notable career for like a couple years next to Ndamukong Suh. But after he left him, I don't think he was in the league that long.
He was a first round pick though.
Yeah, well, he was
a first round pick. Listen, he got that first round money. That's all that matters.
He got that first round money because Cam was there. You know what I mean? Like we can watch and pay attention to you, Nick Fairley, because Cam was there. Underrated. Like nobody has done more with less than Cam. Like you can say Joe Burrow statistically had the best college football season of all time, but Joe Burrow was throwing the NFL players left and right.
I'm about to say he might have.
Name me one of Cam Newton's wide receivers during that run.
I can't.
Like Michael Dwyer, was that the running back?
Michael Dwyer, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure these dudes ain't even in the XFL anymore. Like it's crazy what Cam did with that team. We forget, man. Cam was crazy. Just walked on to, you know how crazy it is to walk on to a team, a football team, and like LeBron James coming up to a pickup squad with a bunch of bumps. All of a sudden, now you're the best team in the country because you got that one dude. Like that's how good Cam was. Crazy.
Listen, greatest college for my money, that is the greatest season a college quarterback has ever had. Joe Burrow, people will say Joe Burrow, but when you look at that LSU team, when you look at that,
might be one of the best offenses in like college football history.
Like come on, man, Cam may have nowhere near that kind of talent.
Cam came into Auburn like it was JUCO.
Really?
It was like, oh no, we gonna win this because we got me. Like it did it. This ain't that bad of a mock draft though.
It's really I mean, outside of
Josh Rosen going number 2 is crazy.
That's bad. Okay,
that's bad. Sam Darnold, I can excuse because people thought that would actually happen, but like in retrospect, look, I understand people were talking about Josh Rosen as the top 5 quarterback in that class. It didn't matter. That's also another thing, Cole. We forgot to bring up that Josh Rosen was in this conversation, but Lamar Jackson wasn't. Hey, and like, I don't care how you dice it up. You could just look at the passing numbers. Josh Rosen was significantly less impressive than Lamar Jackson.
Hey,
we did him dirty, man.
Hey,
but
Lamar single-handedly shifted how the league feels about black really did.
It was Lamar and Josh Rosen in unison. Like it was one thing for Lamar to be that cold, and it was another thing for Josh Rosen to be that bad. Like, and it was like, you know what, dog? We doing this the wrong way.
Hey, we've been looking at this all wrong.
Like 2018 really changed the quarterback conversation because remember, not only did that happen, Pat Mahomes happened, right? While Mitchell Trubisky was not happening. Like, it changed. It was so much that people could not ignore anymore. Okay, dog, we are clearly not doing this right if we're taking Pat Mahomes after Mitchell Trubisky, and if we're taking Josh Rosen before Lamar Jackson. Those 2 years back-to-back changed how people view it, because there was something obvious that was affecting people's decision-making when that's the case, because that's not even excusable.
Like, people are going to look back and realize that Mitchell Trubisky got, Cleveland, like, men are legends, shout out Mitch, but, like, Mitch went before Deshaun
He's forever a answer to a trivia question.
Yes, he went before Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes, which, like, looking at it right now, completely insane. Completely insane.
Insane. They traded up to 2. Remember that.
They traded up to 2.
They traded up to 2. So it was ready to take. It wasn't like they was at 2. Hey, let's take Mitch.
It's premeditated.
Like, we need to get Mitchell Trubisky. That's the guy.
I can't believe it,
man. The NFL was a different world in 2017 and 2018, man.
And the story this morning, Peter King's column, he is being told by a source that Cleveland Browns general manager John Dorsey will not draft Sam Darnold. They'll draft Josh Allen. And who will benefit? The New York Giants, who have been relevant forever, who have 4 Super Bowl titles. They will absolutely take Sam Darnold.
Yeah, that one aged pretty badly.
Ooh, Colin.
Aged pretty badly.
Colin, man, that's a bad one. Man, I wish he would have done it.
That's just unfortunate.
I wish he would. I wish John Dorsey would have listened to his friend. I wish he would have done that.
It's just unfortunate. That's unfortunate, man. Damn.
By the way, there's very low sports self-esteem. Carson Wentz passed on Carson Wentz, and the Browns have very low sports self-esteem. Carson Wentz was a no-name kid, huge arm, great at the combine, big, tall, athletic. Carson Wentz is Josh Allen, except way better.
Jesus. Oh, Lord.
I was going to skip through the tape. I was going to let it be.
I was waiting for you to skip through it. I
was about to cut through it, and then he said that.
He get 2 for 1.
He is Carson Wentz, but much worse. Like, yo, it went both that's at the same time. Like, as Josh Allen got better, Carson Wentz got worse. Like,
hey, shout out Sashi Brown, because he was right about that.
Oh, about Carson Wentz?
He was right about that.
Yeah.
If he don't get his flowers, he don't get his flowers enough.
He also the reason we didn't take Deshaun Watson, but every rose has its thorn,
And Cleveland passed on him and was mocked, and people lost jobs and they were ridiculed. And Cleveland is now saying, we're not going to let it happen again. What quarterback in this draft shares the most characteristics with Carson Wentz, who they passed on?
Baker Mayfield, baby. Look, my career wasn't the same after an injury. You know what I mean?
Got a kid as good as Josh Rosen at number 10. The New York Jets got the best quarterback, in my opinion, at number 3. They won the draft. Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold will change the franchise. Would have been fired, will now retain employment. They'll sell tens. Fired.
Whoa, this is so bad. Wait.
200 people in those organizations that would have been fired will now retain employment. They'll sell tens of millions of dollars in merchandise, game day revenue, not to mention free agent wide receivers and offensive linemen. Players will choose the Jets in Arizona and Buffalo if Josh Allen can play, and Baltimore if Lamar Jackson's as great as everybody tells me. But I look at the Jets today, and they were the butt of jokes Wednesday. I look at Arizona. I was rolling my eyes Wednesday. But I look at those teams today, and my grade is A for awesome. And they landed Josh Rosen, who is, according to Greg Cosell, the most NFL-refined quarterback in the draft. By the way, this staff is a perfect...
It's crazy how the experimental quarterback was the one that won the MVP quickest. Like, we always talk about NFL ready. And then we talk about dudes like Lamar Jackson not being NFL ready. But name me another quarterback that won the MVP in his second year that's not Pat Mahomes. And it's not like we said Pat Mahomes was NFL ready. This is why I believe being NFL ready is a myth, because the only dudes we've seen out here win the MVP early were the guys that we were like, hey, you got to sit forever. Also, Anthony Richardson might put up 300, 3,000, might put up 3K on both sides of the ball. Like, I don't know what he going to do, but everybody, this is why I don't believe in the NFL ready quarterback, because nothing has shown me that actually matters.
Like, going back and looking and really like listening to these takes, knowing what these quarterbacks have turned into is just insane, dog.